Imagine this. It's 2025. Your iPhone gets a notification. Your living room is ready. Not your Apple TV updated. Not your HomePod mini updated. Not your AirTag battery is low. Your living room. Your home. Apple has been strangely quiet about 3 of its most popular little gadgets. Apple TV, HomePod mini, and AirTag. No new hardware. No big updates. Just silence. And whenever Apple goes quiet for this long, it usually means one thing. They're not stuck. They're stacking. In this video, we're going to break down why Apple might be holding back new versions of all 3 of these products, what the most believable leaks and rumors are pointing to, and how a next-gen Apple TV, HomePod mini, and AirTag could snap together into one huge move for Apple's smart home, AR, and Apple Intelligence strategy. Stay with me until the end, because the wildest part isn't what each device might do on its own. It's what happens when you put all 3 of them in the same home at the same time. Let's start with a simple question. Has Apple actually forgotten about these products? Because look at the timeline. Apple TV 4K. Last major hardware refresh, 2022. HomePod mini. Launched in 2020, just some new colors later. AirTag. First released in 2021. No second gen, no Pro model, nothing. For a company that updates the iPhone every year like clockwork, a 3 to 5 year silence is weird. But here's the thing. Apple almost never abandons products that are already deeply integrated into the ecosystem. Apple TV is your living room hub. HomePod mini is your voice in and out of the house. AirTags literally sit in your bag, your keys, your car, your luggage. These aren't side projects. These are anchors. So if Apple hasn't killed them, why hasn't Apple updated them? Let's start in the living room, because that's where everything else connects. Right now, Apple TV is just a streaming box. Small, fast, 4K, Dolby Atmos, and honestly, already overpowered for Netflix and YouTube. So why haven't we seen a new one? Because Apple TV's real future probably isn't about streaming at all. Think about what Apple is building. Apple Intelligence, on-device AI, Vision Pro, and spatial computing. A growing library of Apple Arcade games. Fitness Plus, Music, TV Plus, iCloud, Photos, HomeKit. All of that content needs a central screen in your house. Leaks and reports over the last few years have hinted at exactly this. A more powerful Apple TV, potentially with a faster chip like an A16 or better. Positioned not just as a streaming box, but as a kind of home server plus entertainment brain. Now picture this. You sit on your couch, and your iPhone has already handed off your profile to the TV. It knows who's watching. It knows what playlist to queue up. It knows your Fitness Plus history, your favorite apps, your games, even your smart home scenes. It becomes less the TV and more the operating system of your living room. And then there's the rumor that refuses to die. An Apple device that combines a HomePod speaker, an Apple TV box, and a camera for FaceTime in your living room. If Apple launches that, it instantly becomes your movie box, your music speaker, your FaceTime big screen, your HomeKit hub, and your main interface for Apple Intelligence in the house. Suddenly, Apple TV isn't just the thing you watch. It's the thing that watches everything else in your house in a good way. But the TV is only one piece, because a brain is useless without ears. That's where HomePod mini comes in. The original HomePod mini did something interesting. It put Siri, HomeKit, and Thread networking into a tiny, relatively affordable puck you could scatter around your house. But let's be honest, Siri has never felt like the star of that show. Most people bought HomePod mini as a convenient speaker, not a genius assistant. So why no HomePod mini 2 yet? Because Apple has been quietly doing 2 things. First, they've been laying the groundwork. Support for Matter, more HomeKit devices, enabling the built-in temperature and humidity sensors via software, refining handoff between iPhone and HomePod. Second, with Apple Intelligence, they finally have a story for smart voice that doesn't suck. A next-gen HomePod mini starts to make sense when Siri becomes less like a dumb search box and more like your personal home Oprah. Or, set the lights how I like them for movie night. Turn everything off, I'm going to bed. Play whatever I was listening to in the car. Where did I leave my keys? Here's where the rumors, the logic, and the wish list all collide. A new HomePod mini is likely to double down on three things: better microphone system and on-device processing for Apple Intelligence, tighter ultra-wideband integration with your iPhone, your watch, and yes, your AirTags, and improved home networking, acting as tiny nodes in an invisible mesh around your home. In other words, ears, presence, and context. Imagine walking from your bedroom to your kitchen and the HomePods know it's you. The music follows. Timers and reminders follow. Your lights adjust as you go because your home isn't just running automations, it's responding to you. And for Apple to pull that off, it needs to know not just what room you're in, but exactly where you are in that room. Which brings us to the most quietly powerful gadget Apple makes: AirTag. AirTag is a weird product. It's tiny, cheap, and not flashy. But it rides on top of something insanely valuable: the Find My network. Hundreds of millions of Apple devices, constantly and anonymously helping each other locate things. When AirTag launched in 2021, it was basically, cool, now I can stop losing my keys. But the hardware inside AirTag was just the first draft. Since then, Apple has updated its iPhones with a second-generation ultra-wideband chip that has better range and precision. Analysts have already pointed to 2025 as the window for a second-gen AirTag, and they've hinted at deeper integration with Apple's spatial computing plans. So what does AirTag 2 actually look like? The safe, realistic bets are a more advanced UWB chip for longer range and more accurate indoor positioning, better battery life, maybe an easier or different battery system, stronger anti-stalking protections, both in hardware and software, maybe a louder speaker or more noticeable feedback when you're close. That alone would sell a ton of them. But that's not the interesting part. Here's the interesting part. What if AirTag 2 isn't just about finding lost things, but about helping Apple map the inside of your world? Think about it. If your Apple TV knows what room it's in, your HomePod mini knows who's talking, and your AirTags know where your important objects are in 3D space. Suddenly Apple has something incredibly powerful: a private, local, ultra-precise indoor GPS that never has to leave your home, never get uploaded to the cloud, but can power some wild experiences. Walk into the kitchen and say, "Where's my wallet?" Your HomePod mini responds. It's on the desk in your office, near the window. Open your iPhone, and instead of just a beeping arrow, you see a simple outline of your home and a dot for your keys, your bag, your luggage, even your bike in a garage. Pair that with Apple Vision Pro, or whatever comes next in AR glasses, and now you're literally seeing your stuff through walls. And yes, some of this is speculation, but it's not random speculation. It lines up perfectly with three things Apple cares a lot about. 1. Privacy. They can brag that your home's map and all your object locations stay local and encrypted. 2. Lock-in. The more your home is mapped with AirTags, HomePods, and an Apple TV hub, the harder it is to leave Apple's ecosystem. 3. Differentiation. Google and Amazon are good at voice and smart home, but neither has a Find My network on Apple's scale, and neither has Apple's tight hardware plus software integration. So now, let's connect the dots. You've got a new Apple TV, acting as the visual brain and entertainment hub. New or upgraded HomePod minis, acting as the ears and the voice. AirTag 2, acting as tiny location sensors stitched all over your life. Laid on top of that, you have Apple Intelligence running on your personal devices, understanding your habits, your routines, your preferences. This is the move. Turn your house into an Apple product. Not a HomePod here, an AirTag there, an Apple TV in the corner. But all of them acting like one coordinated, invisible operating system around you. Wake up. Your phone, your watch, your nearest HomePod mini, and your Apple TV light up with the right information in the right place. Leave your apartment. Your door locks, your lights go off, your thermostat adjusts, and if your keys or bag are left behind, your iPhone quietly taps your wrist before you even hit the elevator. Get home with groceries in your hands? You don't touch a switch. You just say, "I'm home," and your home snaps into your evening profile. And under the surface, Apple is making money from all sides. Hardware sales, iCloud, Apple TV Plus, Apple Music, Apple Arcade, App Store, Fitness Plus, accessories. So why haven't they pulled the trigger yet? Because rolling this out half-baked would be a disaster. Imagine promising a smart, private, AI-powered home experience, and then Siri misunderstands you. The Apple TV lags. The HomePod can't hear you over the dishwasher. Your AirTag thinks your wallet is in the bedroom when it's on the couch. Apple can't afford kind of works here. They need a solid Apple Intelligence rollout, a clear story for the living room, stronger HomeKit and Matter support, and next-gen hardware that actually feels like a jump, not a color refresh. So instead of trickling out minor updates, a slightly faster Apple TV here, a tiny tweak to HomePod Mini there, a quiet AirTag revision, they might be lining up one big, unified smart home moment. A keynote or announcement where they don't just say, here's Apple TV 4K, 4th gen, here's HomePod Mini 2, here's AirTag 2, but instead say, here is the Apple home experience. And these are the 3 devices that make it come alive. So, what should you do right now? If you're in the US and you're thinking, should I buy an Apple TV, a HomePod Mini, or AirTags right now, or wait? Here's the honest take. If your current Apple TV, speakers, or tracking setup are working fine and you love new tech, you're probably in that sweet spot where waiting could pay off in a big way, especially for AirTags. But if your TV is ancient, or you literally keep losing your keys every week, the current products are already really good, and Apple tends to support them for years. The real play is not to stress about one individual gadget, but to understand the bigger game Apple seems to be setting up. Your next Apple TV won't just be better streaming. Your next HomePod Mini won't just be better sound. Your next AirTag won't just be better tracking. Together, they'll be Apple's way of turning your home into something that feels less like a collection of gadgets and more like one coherent, responsive system that always seems one step ahead of you. And when that happens, the question won't be, should I upgrade my Apple TV? It'll be, am I ready to let Apple upgrade my entire home? If you want to see how this all fits with Apple Intelligence, Vision Pro, and the future of AR in your house, make sure you stick around the channel, because this story is just getting started.